Hey everybody, welcome to the Stellar Highway. My name is Motormind and I'll be your host tonight. I wanted to take a look at DC's New Age of Heroes event. Just, now that one issue of everything has come out, I just kind of want to take a look at it, like a quick overview. So, I bought everything. I bought the first issue of everything. I bought multiple issues of some other things. So, this was sold to me as like Marvel, not Marvel. So, I'm interested. I know Marvel really well. I don't know DC very well at all. So, beyond the basics, it just seemed like a good chance to jump on. It's a good chance to check out something, to be in at the ground floor of something. But there's some really good talent showcased in this event. I think that the strongest thing about it, probably the most positive, thing to come out of this, is it's going to introduce people to talent that they didn't know existed, that, they're going to want to follow. For example, Sideways is drawn amazing. I love the way Sideways looks. I also love the way Damage looks. This event introduced me to some new artists that I didn't know were out there, and have my attention now. So, if I hear, a new project from the artist behind Sideways, I'm going to take notice. I think that's going to be the biggest repercussion, the biggest ripple in this pond, from New Age of Heroes, is introducing people to talent they didn't know was out there. So, also, I think the Terrifics had Jeff Lemire, and I've gone on to read Black Hammer, and, this guy, he's very much gives me sort of like a indie creator vibe, but you put him on the Terrifics, which is essentially the Fantastic Four. They're not even shy about it. And it's great. He does some great character dynamics, and, you love to hate Mr. Terrific. You see sort of the banter between Metamorpho and Plastic Man, and you feel it works. He's really created sort of a cohesive group there, and there's some nice mystery kind of running underneath the Terrifics. That is a book that I recommend. It's not going to be for everyone. I don't know if I'm going to read the entire whole shebang, but it's going to stick with me. I am going to remember the Terrifics, long past, it's whatever it runs, if it's going to run 50 issues, if it's going to run 12. It seems like most books are lucky to make it to 12 these days. Knowing that there's other talent out there that it doesn't share, that DC doesn't share with Marvel, is going to keep people interested in other things. Maybe that won't benefit DC directly, but in some cases it will. I really walked away from this thing liking Sideways. Sideways, I talked about a lot. I've reviewed everything that's out there. There's 5 issues out there as the time of this recording. But Sideways works for me. It may not work for you, but there's enough of sort of a Spider-Man vibe running through Sideways. There's, the designs, the powers, the supporting cast, the way that Derek is messing up and occasionally being heroic, and it fires on all cylinders for me. And in Sideways, we haven't had Uncle Ben's death yet. We haven't had that thing that pushes him to be better, that makes him strengthens his resolve to become a hero, to start taking responsibility for his powers. And I think once Sideways has its Uncle Ben, that the book will maybe even jump up to the next level. I think I see something special in Sideways. You may not see it, but to me, I think it has real potential, and I will continue to buy Sideways, unless they just really bungle it. I think that's unlikely, but it's going to take a lot for me to hate Sideways. I'm going to keep reading it, and keep my finger on the pulse of the creative team and see where Sideways is going. I think that will be the book that I continue to buy out of all this. But there's a lot of other books in the New Age of Heroes that had a lot to offer. They just weren't, I just wasn't the audience for them. So, I did feel like there were some complete misses. I did not like the unexpected, but I can see other people liking the unexpected. I didn't really like The Curse of Brimstone, but I can see other people liking The Curse of Brimstone. The Curse of Brimstone had great art, by the way. I think that the event on the whole was probably, it was just a reason to like throw a subtitle on everything. I feel like these books, some of them were strong enough that they could have come out on their own, but I think it was a safer play to kind of tie them all together. I mean, they got my dollars that way. But some of these things like the New Challengers, I thought that had a great hook. I really want to see what happens next. But it's a 6-issue miniseries, so, I addressed some of those concerns in my review of New Challengers. But I don't know if New Age of Heroes needed to be a thing, but it works. In the end, it turned out to be a smart decision. And it got me to buy, 7 books instead of just 3. Because I probably would have just gone with the Terrifics, Sideways, and New Challengers. But, as a whole package, I don't think anybody's going to be 100% in. But somebody's going to find something they like. Is it going to convert them into a lifelong DC fan? Are they going to drop Marvel completely? Are they going to drop their indies? No, absolutely not. But this was a cool introduction to the DC universe for me. I mean, it feels like these guys are on the fringes of it, but, once you start throwing in some guest appearances, you start throwing the Terrifics in with the Justice League, you start throwing Sideways into, I don't know, Teen Titans or something like that. I mean, I see a future for all of these characters. Of course, the minis like New Challengers, that maybe doesn't adapt very well, but I can see the characters coming out unscathed. I can see Damage ending up on Suicide Squad or something like that. So, I mean, really, it feels like a success. Is it a success in terms of sales and stuff? I don't know. That's not really my bag. I don't really analyze sales data. So somewhere out there that data exists. And, I'm hoping some of these books will have a long life. Some of these books, it wouldn't surprise me if they have a short life. But at the end of the day, there's a few of these I definitely recommend. You can check out all of my reviews on this channel. I talk about at least the first issue of every book in this event. So just as a quick rundown, you have Damage, you have Silencer, you have Sideways, the Terrifics, the Immortal Men, the Curse of Brimstone, the New Challengers, and the Unexpected. So if any of those are the New Age of Heroes books. Those are all under the New Age of Heroes banner. Check them out if you're interested. All the reviews are on this channel. Click like if you like this video. Ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time on the Stellar Highway.